Every second, millions of dollars, ideas, and culture cross invisible borders. The world is shrinking, and yet it has never felt so divided. Join Group 9 as we explore globalization as a theory of development.
Good day, lovely viewers, and welcome to today's episode on Scholars Arena. It's your favorite host, Adam Latif, and I have with me today researchers from the Ghana Institute of Journalism. They are here today to talk to you about the globalization theory, what the theory entails, theories that were derived from the globalization theory, and many more. Some of the theories that were derived from the globalization theory is the modernization theory, the dependencies theory, wage system theory, neoliberalism, and cultural imperialism. They also talk about the effects of the globalization theory and criticisms of the globalization theory.
Globalization theory is a framework that explains the increasing interconnectedness of the world in areas like economy, politics, culture, and technology. It begins with the idea of theory as a tool for understanding complex realities. Globalization theory helps us understand how global processes affect local lives, institutions, and identities, and why countries and people are more connected than ever before.
I'll start with the modernization theory. Modernization theory is a sociological and economic framework explaining how society developed from traditional stage to modernize. It emerged in the mid-20th century, especially in the 1950s and 1960s, as a way to understand and promote development, particularly in formerly colonized and underdeveloped countries.
Okay, so the dependency theory says wealthy nations exploit the poorer ones, and it creates unequal relationships hindering their development, and because of that, the poorer nations are trapped in a cycle of underdevelopment.
So the world system theory is a theory that sees the world as an interconnected system. In this case, the world is divided into regions based on their global effect.
So neoliberalism is a political and economic ideology that champions free market capitalism and minimal government intervention.
So I will talk about cultural imperialism. When we say cultural imperialism, it is the practice where a more advanced culture imposes its beliefs, values, and habits onto a less dominant culture. It is often through religion. A typical example is how a country like Ghana has accepted Western language such as English as their own native language, which is not supposed to be like that. It erases the cultural identity.
So I'll be talking about the effects of globalization theory. So one of the effects is academic and policy impacts. Globalization has profound impact on both academic and policy making, creating both opportunities and challenges.
I'm also here to talk about one of the positive effects of globalization theory. Western dominance in knowledge production. This has to do with the fact that the Western world are in control of basically top universities, research funding, and other institutions. So their ideas are able to travel or spread rapidly. As a result, Asian countries and African countries have their ideas undervalued.
I will also talk about negative effects of globalization theory. Loss of national identity. Countries may lose their sense of national identity. For example, young people may value foreign celebrities more than national heroes.
Globalization theory has been shaped by the ideas of scholars like Anthony Giddens, who saw it as the intensification of worldwide social relations, and Roland Robertson, who emphasized the comprehension of the world and consciousness of the whole. In the end, globalization is not just an economic theory, but a human reality connecting lives, dreams, and destinies. The question is not whether the world is globalizing, but how we choose to live in it.